falling to your frontless. Oodles and noodles, bang bullets at suckers' noodles. Last album voodoo, proved that we was fucking brutal. I'm talking crazy, half past the clock is cuckoo. You rappers doodle, baby shit, just basic boo-boo. I'm talking Zulu, Mansa Musa, my money buku. My beats is banging, fuck what you rapping, who produced?
You're going to Muay Thai.
I am now a Muay Thaier.
Yeah.
Kickboxer or whatever you call it. I've been a few times, it's been fun. I've been looking for some sort of martial art. There's 4 reasons I wanted the martial art, right? So the first, fitness. Currently I lift weights a few times a week, but I was looking for something a bit more fun, right? So fitness is one. The second, a sport. So something that's somewhat competitive where I could see myself getting better and compete with other people and make it a sport. The third is acknowledgement. With Muay Thai, there isn't a lot of acknowledgement because there's no belt system. There is no blue belt, brown belt, black belt, right? Dan 1, Dan 2, Dan 3. You're just either really good or not really good.
Yeah, or black eye.
Yeah, exactly. You got a black eye, not a black belt, right? And then the fourth is obviously self-defense. But I've only been in like one fight over the past 20 years. I'm 38. And so I personally have a 1 in 7,000 chance of getting in a fight. Those are my personal stats. I'm not exactly concerned with the self-defense piece.
Yeah, 908, LA time, back in the lab and shit. My wife said, I can't say no to nobody, and at this rate we gon' both die broke. Got friends that ask me for money knowing I'm in debt, and like my wife said, I still didn't say no. People tryna say I'm going crazy on Twitter. My friend's best advice was to stay low.
So we're gonna go hang out at my good friend Peter Kabiki's hotel. It's called Park Lane. It's here in this suburb is called Hellerup. It's a very nice suburb in Denmark, probably the nicest here. And they just launched this hotel earlier this year. So it's one of my favorite hotels now. I'll come here from time to time, get a coffee, get lunch, hang out. Very cool. So Peter Kabiki is one of the co-owners, and they went for like a London Mayfair style. It's pretty sick. We're gonna have lunch. We're gonna shoot some content.
Okay.
We're gonna tag you guys. He's happy with that. Question is, do you have a meeting room? Does he need a card if he wants to use the toilet, or?
If you need the light, they're in that control over there.
Excellent. Seed in that format. Perfect. Let's do it.
Yeah, that's. I don't know which of you guys. It's gonna look like this.
How was the meeting? Like, how did it went?
Very productive. Very productive. I have this thing where I try not to label anything as bad day, bad meeting, productive or unproductive, right? And it was a very productive meeting. We're super behind on where I would like us to be as a group, right? We've had quite a few targets lined up this year, but capital challenges to get our platform off the ground, right? What I mean by platform is it's one thing to do a deal and then another deal and then another deal on a deal by deal basis, and to fundraise each and every time. It's a whole nother thing to like raise a ton of capital, which is called a platform funding, right? And then go and execute on a sequence of targets, right? That's falling behind, which is super frustrating, right? So we're gonna buy the next target very, 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 very soon, hopefully with a bit of luck. That's basically gonna be a deal by deal based funding. And then, then we need to get back to work on trying to put the capital together to go do the big thing. So we were talking about those things. At the end of the day, when I zoom out, we're still doing incredible, right? When we buy this next company, we've basically doubled our revenue, right, in a year. Objectively, we're doing very good. It's just our ambitions are so damn big. We've got outsized ambitions. And so, your ambitions, should always be so large that you fall short.
You also previously talked about US as a potential market to do like buyouts and roll-ups. So I was kind of wondering, why haven't you looked at the US?
In theory, the US is also a very attractive market for this micro private equity approach, right? Identifying companies to buy. Why? There's a ton of companies in the US. This is not new in America, right? So generally speaking, people are somewhat aware of how it works and how valuation multiples work. But for me personally, I live a 2-hour flight from London, and I just don't like playing in hard mode. Another thing is, in order to achieve my ambitions, I have all the ingredients. Why change something that already works, right? Typically, when you're in the earlier stages of your career, you do a lot of tinkering, right? You are an experimenter, you're an inventor, you're trying trial and error, you're trying to see what works. I know what works for me. I can build my fortune just doing what I do now, which is buying profitable businesses in England. And so what am I then looking for in the US? I ain't Christopher Columbus. I don't need to set sail. I love the fact that a lot of high net worth individuals are fleeing UK. I love the fact that a lot of people are talking shit about England. Why? Because that means I get to go there and have some fun. I'm more than happy to come and swoop up highly profitable businesses in England. I ain't got no business in America. I might go there for a week, have a bit of fun. Do a little bit of dancing in Miami. Because I just watched a video of Alex Hormozi, the world famous entrepreneur, sales guy, education guy, and he always has a whiteboard. So I don't know what Oscar's gonna ask me, but I'm gonna revert to the whiteboard, sir. Why? Because I want to look smart.
Is there any type of business that you would avoid buying?
So any type of business I would avoid buying, and as promised, I'm gonna use the whiteboard. No idea Oscar was gonna ask me that. Let's go with the flow. Here is Yus looking smart. This is my Hormozi moment. Okay, avoid. So here I'm gonna say, high expectations, turnarounds, low profit. Avoid businesses with high expectations. That means sectors such as what? IT, software, let's call it SaaS, software as a service, specific professional services such as law firms. So these guys, they just think that they're so fancy. They're like, we have long tenure. We've been treating clients, and helping them get out of trouble for the last 100 years. Therefore, you should pay us. High expectations. SaaS, these are normally valued on what's called annual recurring revenue, ARR, which has nothing to do with profitability. So annual recurring revenue, that's typically how SaaS businesses are valued. You pay a multiple of ARR. That says nothing about its ability to earn a profit, service debt, etc. Typically, it's high multiples as well. IT, why? Because even though IT is just a bunch of guys, by the way, I'm gonna get in a lot of trouble for this. Somehow they have it in their mind that it's like high value and not just a multiple of earnings. The challenge with IT is your human capital has legs. It walks out of the door every day, essentially because it's basically just IT guys and IT gals, right? So you buy a 30-person IT organization and the top 5 or 7 people leave, you're screwed. So high expectations, don't buy these companies. Turnarounds. Why would you want to? This is hard mode. Turnarounds means that a company is doing poorly or maybe previously was doing okay but is currently in trouble, and the idea is that you're gonna jump into that business, roll up your sleeves like Batman to the rescue, and turn the situation around and ride it to sunnier days and sunnier tides. Why on earth would you want to do that? Take over someone else's problems. They done struggled and suffered for a decade trying to fix their damn business. They have failed. Sounds hard to me. Hard mode.
This is what they call distressed.
Distressed, aka distressed. By the way, do not comment on my spelling or my handwriting. Okay, this is pro bono. Lastly, low profit. Now here I don't mean low margin. Okay, so not low margin. I just mean low profit. Don't buy a business that barely makes any money, right? I'll give you an example. Let's say that a company does 5 million pounds in revenue, but makes 120 grand in profits, right? You make one wrong hire and you're making no money, right? There's just so little money there. 120,000 pounds of earnings is so little that that's essentially one salary of a MD or someone. You make 1 or 2 bad hires, you basically go from a little bit of profit to no profit. I don't mind low margin, but not low profit. So what businesses should you avoid? High seller expectations, that's a no. Turnarounds, that's a no. Low profit businesses, that's a no. How are my impromptu whiteboard skills, Oscar?
I think it's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
It's so pretty. Let's call my Steel CEO, Paul, and talk about a deal, baby. Mr. Paul,
Yusufa, can you hear me?
I can hear you. I was just saying to Oscar that now that you're CEO, you don't just take my impromptu calls no more, huh, sir? Huh? You know, he the big boss. I love that.
You're hanging with Oscar.
I'm hanging with Oscar, yes, sir.
How's his venture going?
Did you watch his first video?
Yeah, I saw the one with you guys. It's an investment fund that he was going to start. I like the kind of just fucking do it approach.
Boom. I love that too, man. I love that. Let's just hear him out, right? What I want to know is, I just want him to understand our methodology, right? Which is to say, look, we would consider the 1x down, but 1x on what? Can you hear us? Paul and I had a discussion yesterday about the business, right? In essence, we're happy to like move forward and make a move on it, but there's just a few things we wanted to clarify. One, it seems like just 4 years ago it was barely making any money, right? So it's kind of recent that they've kind of started making some real money, which is okay. That's good for him, and we're happy to participate. But obviously, the risk is that very soon it reverts, or very quickly rather, it reverts back to not making as much money. Obviously, we've talked valuations, right? But if you look at the 2024 and 2023 average, then actually 3x 2024 is the equivalent of a 4.4x the average over those 2 years. We want to do deals with you the next 3, 4, 5 years, 15 years, right? So we'll have a level of transparency with you, and you know, some messages are for the seller and others are for you to chew on, right? So this is one that's just for you, right? It feels like the guy almost wanted to do a quick flip, or Paul couldn't quite put his finger on it. And so there is this question of what have we missed? And frankly, what we can't quite put our finger on is what are we actually getting? Because it's not like the business has assets necessarily. Trust me, we want to do the deal, but we just need to know what deal are we doing, right? Do you have a sense for that? We have a company that does roughly £500,000 in profit. And we have an opportunity to buy that business at a very low closing payment. And now what we need to figure out is, what have we missed? Are we missing something? Is it because that's not the actual true earnings position of the business? And we don't know. And so this is what deal making looks like. I'm on a call with the CEO of my steel group and the sell side broker. Because if the answer is no, we haven't missed anything, then this is a fantastic deal.
Back too close, you ain't even know me. Trust my brothers from way back from the north. It's me and the old, spend it like they owe me. Gotta stay.
It's very nice.
It's very nice. Do you remember what's inside or no?
That makes sense.
Perfect. Some Dijonnaise as well?
Amazing. Let's eat.
See. So what are the typical problems that you run into when you buy a company, and maybe also tap into like post-sale?
Wow, there's a lot of problems. I mean, in doing LBOs or just buying businesses, doing M&A, I haven't prepared for this question, but I'm tempted to say all problems can be boiled down into two categories. One is actual capital, i.e. money, and the second is human capital, i.e. people. It's all capital. So somewhere between money and people, that's where all the problems reside. And I don't want to just skip over that or take it lightly. You know, it's one thing to get a business owner to agree to terms. It's a whole nother thing to actually line up the capital. So I would say capital, financial capital, getting the money is a massive challenge. Once you've bought the business, your money problems don't go away. You inherit those, right? You keep those, but you have new problems. Human capital, people. I've also noticed in my personal experience, having bought the businesses, they typically suffer somewhat after we buy them, in the sense that maybe as the sellers are just getting ready to sell the business, you know, it's just everything's running smoothly, and then having done the deal, maybe they take the foot off the gas a bit. I'm not sure what the reason is. I've just said in my experience, every business we've bought, it feels as if it was running full steam ahead until we bought it. Our coordination is hilarious. Oh man. All right.
Okay, my question is
yes, sir.
that when we talk about like the struggle of buying a business
Yep.
and owning one. I heard you talk about key man,
Oh yeah.
and I just wanted to I think that could be valuable to understand what is that and what problems can that cause.
That's a great question, Oscar.
Thank you.
That's truly a great question. First of all, what is going on here? Man, this Tesla, this is why I need a Bentley. This car is beeping and hollering at me all the time. First of all, I don't make this stuff up. It happens to be key man as opposed to key person, right? But a key man is an individual, man or woman, who is key to the business's continued success. And typically that is the chief operator, right? Doesn't mean the COO, but that's the chief executive officer, could also be the chief operations officer, the chief financial officer, who are the individuals in this business that are key to the continued success of the business. And the concept of a key man is when you are getting involved in a transaction, what happens is these people are usually required to do certain things as part of the transaction. Quite often what they're required to do is to stay with the business, i.e. they continue in their role such that the business continues to thrive. So essentially a key man clause is one that identifies the individuals that are key to the continued success of the enterprise. And the clauses dictate how those key individuals interact with the business after the transaction. In M&A, quite often you're buying a business where the original owner is an owner-operator and is a key man, right? Even if it's a lady, key woman, but the statement is key man is the name of this clause. And so what you might have there is a handover period whereby you stipulate that for 12 to 24 months, your expectation is that they continue in their current roles. So that's a key man. I'm happy for my problems. I earned these problems. I earned the right to have these problems. These are my problems because I took actions that made them mine. And therefore, I'm blessed to have my problems.
That's nice.
0 to 100.